why you need to stop caring about the world so much. So it sounds kind of weird. Why would you want to stop caring about the world, right? We're taught that we should care about others. We should care about people in foreign nations. We should care about our neighbors. We should care about our teachers, our coworkers, our friends, right? Why would you ever say to stop caring about the world? So this is an interesting kind of concept. We, growing up as Americans, have this societal norm that we believe that we have the responsibility to be the moral compass and police the world, right? So when there are struggles in other countries overseas, I mean, you see it all the time. Why do we go there and police it? Why do we go there and get involved? Well, one big reason of that is because the United States is trying to keep its affairs in order, right? So it's trying to make sure that they're doing okay so that it doesn't come over here. It's trying to keep us safe. The problem is, however, we cannot and should not police the world, right? We don't need to get involved in every matter of every country, of every tribe. And I'm gonna do a little exercise with you guys, okay? So I want you to think about the world like this. There are 7.2 billion people on Earth right now in 2022, right? That's the estimate. So I want you to kind of visualize this to understand how large the world is, okay? So if you wrote down every single human on Earth's name, right? And a name really is nothing, it's just a title, some made up title that we apply to an individual, right? But say you wrote down every person's name and you wrote assuming about every 5 seconds, right? Every 5 seconds you write one person's name. Every 5 seconds you write the next person's name, right? It would take you 200 years to write down everyone's name. And in 200 years, everybody, including yourself, would be dead. Plus, they would be replaced by a whole new cohort of people. So what I'm saying is the world is an incredibly large place, and our society now puts a very high regard on caring about the world, right? And the reason for that is because we have such instant access to information. Now, I'd hate to break it to you, but humans are not adapted to work well and to understand 7.2 billion people, right? They're not able to even conceptualize 1 million people. Have you ever counted to 1 million? I mean, think about it. Have you even ever counted to 1,000? I don't think I have. So what you have to understand is, even though the world is kind of becoming this universal one world place, you know, we're all connected, and that is true in some way. I mean, we're all human, right? But the problem is humans are not adapted to function in this manner. Humans are adapted to function in a tribe, right? So throughout various millennia, humans have lived in small settlements, about 150 people or less, maybe 200 and larger ones, 300, 400. But generally speaking, most societies over thousands of years, until very recently, until pretty much the Renaissance and later, and it really started upswinging after the Industrial Revolution. But really, for most of our history, we lived in small tribal communities. We mostly lived as subsistence farmers in little villages or in the countryside, and went into the villages for religious reasons or to purchase something that we needed around the house that was created by like a cobbler or somebody who made blankets or somebody who made clothing, tailors, things of that nature. So the people that mastered some kind of craft in society lived in the towns, but the vast majority lived in the countryside and rural communities, and they came into the community and everybody knew everyone, right? So these communities were small, 100, 150, 200 people, right? And almost everyone knew everyone. They knew whose kids were who. They knew what this person specialized in. They knew if this one was a good fighter, if this one had strength, if this one was able to create ships. They knew if this one was able to create weapons. And there was a specialization that was known amongst the community. right? So now in this global world, right, we feel like we have to connect to everyone. We have to help everyone. We have to be the moral compass for everyone, right? So things are going bad in Mexico, we need to protest and do something about it. Things are going bad in Ukraine, we need to protest and do something about it and make sure that our government is helping these people. The issue is though, guys, is you're never going to meet those people. You're never gonna have any interaction with them. And it's almost weird because it's kind of like this fake kind of interest in these people that exist in our society today. You don't know them. You don't care about them. I mean, yeah, you care about humans in general, and you don't want to see anybody having a bad life, right? But you don't really care about them. I mean, if they died, would you cry? If they died, would you have a heartbreak? No, you wouldn't. Right? So it's kind of this fake activism for things that you realistically don't really give a shit about, right? I mean, let's get real. You give a shit about it because you think you have to, right? So I'm not saying to be insensitive and screw the world and screw everybody else. I mean, I do think it's good to help others. But what I'm trying to say is you need to stop worrying and focusing so much attention on this overarching global society. You know, you need to come back to your roots. You need to come back to your neighborhood. You need to come back to your tribe. Now, the next thing is the us versus them mentality. So for the entire time of humanity, we have had an us versus them mentality. And what does this mean? This means that humans by nature like to create us and then them over there. So that could be that tribe over the ridge, that could be the other company, that could be the other school, that could be the other city, right? That could be another race, that could be another religion. So what I'm getting at is that humans have an intrinsic nature to create an us versus them mentality, right? We crave to belong to a community. We crave to grow within our community. We crave to know our community in a very intimate level. And we crave the ability to build up our power and our strength and our reputation in these communities. You can't do that when there's 7.2 billion people. You just can't. Like I said, it would take 200 years to write everyone's name down. And that doesn't even mean anything. You don't know them, you haven't talked to them, you have no connection to them whatsoever. The us versus them nature is intrinsic to human evolution and is intrinsic to the evolution of our species, right? So there's always been fiefdoms, there's been kingdoms, there's been warring invaders trying to take this one, trying to create differences so that we can grab their land. So the root of it is survival. The root of it is power. The root of it is expanding your empire, getting more resources, improving your community, making your life better for your family and your tribe. Now, if we're all living in a world where everything's just this global society and there's no focus on the tribe, then what you're really doing is you are going against human nature. So what you have to do is you need to be more connected to your own tribe. And I'm not talking about race or religion or culture, although that may be part of it. I'm talking about connecting to your community in a way that is on an intimate level. So we live in a world where we are connected to everyone, right? We can talk to people from around the world. We can IM this one, FaceTime this one, all of these things, right? Yet we are not connected to the people who live next door to us. We're not, right? So what this has created is this has created a world of people living in their own individual pods, removed from their neighbors. It's an isolated existence. It's a sad existence. You want to know your neighbors. You want to have community. Build your community. Get involved with your neighbors. Talk to your neighbors. Get involved in your church or temple or synagogue or mosque or whatever it may be. Do things in your community. Talk to the local businesses. Now, another reason for this is the way that we built, particularly in America. So in the past 50, 60, 70 years, we have suburbanized. So people do not live in close-knit, dense populations anymore like they did earlier, right? So people are in rural places and they meet in a small town. So now we have large, huge, sprawling suburbs that have everyone living in their own individual house, and then they get in their car, their own individual pod, they go to their work, they park in a parking lot, they sit in their cubicle away from everyone else, and they go home and they're alone, right? So the point of this video is to encourage you to get better connected to your community. And like I said, it is difficult, especially if you live in a suburban environment. If you live in a large city and you live in a close, densely populated neighborhood, you can almost create little villages within the city, right? That's what neighborhoods really are, right? And then if you live in a small town, it's obviously easier to do because it's more aligned to the human existence over the last millennia. But I'm encouraging you to get more involved in your community. I'm encouraging you to stop worrying so much about the world and them over there and this crisis and that crisis and this bombing and these immigrants and these ones, because you're not gonna fix it. You're not gonna help them. And you're just gonna worry yourself. And worry creates a bad feeling inside you, and it could lead to a lot of sicknesses, both mentally and physically. You need to focus on your tribe. We need to return to the tribe, and you need to grow within that tribe. Okay guys, until next time, take care.